What is good, my people? We are live back on the forecast. And I just wanted to come back and talk to y'all. If you're not subscribed to the other channel, the Forecast Radio 24, and it's in the description. You might want to go subscribe. I just put up a new video, and I'm not really sure how long it's gonna last. YouTube likes to take my videos off. And I still wanted to come on here and talk to the people though, and see what's going on with y'all. Wait for a little couple more people to come in here before we start the conversation. But yeah, I just put up the new video on the Forecast Radio 24, and the link is in the description. What's going on, Moki? Yeah, I love you too. I love all of y'all for real. I got mad love for y'all. I want to come on here every day, but sometimes I got stuff to do. I can't come on here every day, but you know, we do gotta have these conversations sometimes. And so after this conversation or during the show, you can go to the other channel and you want to go there right now to subscribe. And the new video should be up right now, right? But today I wanted to talk about the one drop rule, right? And what it means for us. We got to start looking at the one drop rule from our perspective. And yeah, we definitely need to have this conversation. And I'm gonna definitely have phone calls in a little bit because I definitely want to hear the people's opinion, about the one drop rule, right? Should you have to have two black parents to be considered a black person? Or, if you're mixed, are you a black person? Does the one drop rule still apply to us today? So, I want to hear what you got to say about it, how you feel about it. And lately we've been talking about a lot of politics, and Obama name comes up a lot when we talk about politics. And we all know Obama is biracial, right? We know he has a white mother. So is he the first black president? We've never had a president with two black parents. We know that. So can we consider Obama the first black president? So I want to hear what the people have to say about it. And for me, it does mean something for you to have two black parents, because I don't really understand why if you have a white parent and a black parent, you're automatically considered white. I mean, you're automatically considered black. You're never considered white. Oh, okay. I'm gonna drop the number and I'm gonna put it on the screen in a few minutes. I just kind of wanted to let some people come in. But to me, it means something for you to have two black parents, right? When you have one black parent, you're automatically considered black, and it doesn't matter if the other group is white or Asian or whatever. They automatically consider you black. And to me, when we start getting into the conversation about biracial, it gets into shaky ground because sometimes, biracials, they come out identifying as black and they're more down for the cause than anybody. But sometimes you have biracials and okay, I'll put it in the chat. It's let me get in real quick. All right. Now, I did just put it in the chat. I just put it on the screen, but I'm gonna put it in the chat. And the number is 804-601-4015. It's 804-601-4015. All right, so you can call in and state your opinion. But when it comes to biracial, it's shaky ground because sometimes they identify as black and they're more down for the cause than anybody. But sometimes they identify as the other side. And it's this one biracial girl on my Facebook, and I see a lot of her posts. And to me, it kind of rubs me the wrong way that the only time I see her identifying as black is when she's talking about something that, oh yeah, well, we black people have to do better. We have to do better. But when it comes to racism, is a different tune. She doesn't really call out that side. And I noticed that about some biracial people. You never know what side they're on. But they'll never call out their white side, but they always seem to call out the black side. When it's something racist, well, we have to get over racism. That's a thing of the past. And when it comes to biracial, they do tend to side with one side over the other. In most cases, either they identify with the white side a little bit more, and I'm just generally speaking, this is not for every single case, but from what I see, it seems that biracials identify on either one side or the other. And that there's a reason for that. Black people that's fully melanated to black parents, there's a lot of self-hatred instilled into us. But that same effect goes out to every other group. So if you're half black, you're going to resent that part of you that, feel like is holding you back in some cases. But in some cases, they feel like, well, that's the side I got to represent more. You understand? But that's why it's shaky ground. Because sometimes they could be there to help you, but sometimes they can be there to hurt you. And it goes back of course, to slavery, and of course to the 1662 law that say the children of the mother, whatever the mother is, the children is it's the same thing. So if the mother's a slave, then the kid is a slave. Now they did that because they wanted to have sex, rape black women as much as they wanted without being accountable for the offspring. Like they literally had sex, raped black women, and then enslaved their own children. And a lot of times this created. Oh no, you can call in if you want. This is all good. But this whole dynamic during slavery created the house slave and the field slave, and the whole history is tricky because the dominant society will also use mulattoes against us and say, well, you know this black person feel agrees with us and feels the same way, even though that black person that's speaking about is a mulatto. Like they like a lot of times they like to talk about black slave owners in the South, right? And technically speaking, there couldn't be no black slave owners because it was against the law for black people to even own property in the 1800s, right? Literally on the books, Negroes couldn't own property. Property couldn't own property. But they would point out cases like William Ellison, who was the product of a slave owner. All right, hold on. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Forecast?
Hey, how you doing? Who is this?
Moki.
What's going
How you
on?
doing, Kay?
I'm good. How you doing, Moki?
I'm good. I just wanted to tap in on what you was talking about as far as the racial divide within our own race. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yes, we know that a lot of people has been raped in the past and all of that, and that's how we got different colors and so on and so forth, and different hair textures and different eye colors and all of that. But here's what I have to say. First of all, we were the first human beings on this planet. So we made all eye colors and we made all hair colors, and that's facts. I study a lot. And also, I don't like the fact that people want to identify as black when it's something that's conducive to what they're doing. Otherwise, then they're, oh, I'm Latina, I'm Puerto Rican, I'm this, I'm Dominican, but you're black. You're a black person. You just was somewhere else. You might have been bled down or whatever you want to call it or whatever. Same thing with the people in Australia. They were very dark complected people with curly hair. And we all know the story. They killed off the men and did what they did or whatever. So I'm getting very, very tired for me per se, in my own situation. I have very long hair, okay? And I'm dark complected. I'm so tired of people asking me, some people say I'm not dark complected, but I'm chocolate. So I don't know what that means, but I guess they just want to say that anyway. So I'm not beige. I'm not none of that. To me, I'm dark skinned. I'm just not whatever. I'm not as black as I could be and wanted to be because that's my ancestors. But anyway, the whole point is I'm tired of people coming up to me because of my texture of my hair and because of the length of my hair, asking me, what am I mixed with? I'm not mixed with nobody. Everybody's mixed with me. Do you understand that concept?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like everybody mixed with me. What you mean? What am I mixed with? We were the first people here. And that's not my opinion. I studied. We were the first people on this planet. Everybody came from us. So how am I mixed with somebody or whatever? And I resent that question, and I've always resented that question, period. Because my hair is a certain type of way, and my hair is very long. So what? And my mama is black, and she's brown skinned, and my daddy is black, and he's brown skinned. Nobody's light complected, and none of that. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's just what it is. Now on down the line of their lineage, they were fathers and people might have been raped or whatever. I don't know. It doesn't matter to me. But the bottom line is, I'm an African woman. I'm a black woman. I'm an African first because that's where we came from. All of us. We all came from there. So I'm getting tired of that question, if you understand what I'm saying.
Right.
And it's an insult to me. It's an insult. I think other people might like that if you got a certain type of color eyes or whatever. Oh, well, what you mixed with? And this, that, and the other. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's an insult. I feel like people are gravitating towards white culture and white people because that's what the majority of white people have. That doesn't mean anything. Where you think they got that from?
Right.
So I know where it came from because like I said, I studied a lot. So I know where it came from. Our people. Everything came from our people. Period. That extra long hair, I don't know if you've seen these women or whatever that's Africans and their hair is past they behind. Have you ever seen those pictures of those women?
Mm-hmm.
They're darker than me.
Right.
So what you talking about? Just because, have you seen Ethiopian people? They have curly, thin, whatever type of hair, whatever they want to say. I got thick hair, but it's curly, and it's wavy and it's just dope, just period. And I don't do the whole liking to straighten my hair out. I wear my hair predominantly in braids or and when I say braids, I'm so Cali. Anyway, like in ponytails or whatever, or French braided or something like that, or just wear it in just one ponytail or whatever. But my wave is so thick, okay? And I'm getting tired of that. So I feel like black people need to start understanding their culture, who they are, and where they come from, and understanding their hair, okay? And I'm going to say something else about this hair business and complexion business or whatever, okay, with the hair thing. You know how Snoop hair is, or how we're going back to Nip or whatever. Mm-hmm. I used to first braid my hair to the back because I wanted to. Way back in the day, that was a part of just Cali life or whatever, and it's my own hair. But I have to first braid it like every day because my hair is so soft, it's gonna get frizzy. You see what I'm saying? So what with this good hair thing or whatever, what is good hair? But another person that has coarse hair, they can French braid their hair gonna stay together for a while. You know, mine ain't. So what is good hair?
Right.
What is this complexion thing? What is this mixed thing? What is this? You're so enjoyable to talk about. You're mixed with somebody else. Why? Yeah. Why is that? Why does that make you feel better about who you are to say that you're mixed with somebody else? Because most people that say they mixed with somebody else or whatever, it's not your mama and it's not your daddy, which is what you said. If you're mixed, then you have a white mama, black daddy, or black daddy, white mama, or Asian daddy, or whatever, and a black mother, or whatever. If you don't have that and both your parents are black, you are not mixed. You're just not. And I don't know why they like that. To me, it's a hatred thing, self-hatred. Because nobody ever recognizes the mixed thing, but black people. White people don't entertain that. You just another nigga. Am I lying?
Yeah, you're right.
Nobody entertains that. They don't care about you having a certain strand of hair. They don't care about you having a certain complexion. It does not matter. They don't care about that. So we need to stop lying. Oh well, I'm Haitian. Oh well, I'm. What does that mean? Oh, I'm from Tobago and what you call it and all of that. Man, get out of here. You black. Wow. That's what it is. We're all black.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And if black people would come together, you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The way white people fall under the same umbrella. If they would do that, then we will be a different people. Because Irish, Italians, whatever, and Italians has got some black in them too, for real. That's why they got some curly hair and so on. I ain't got to get off into that because you already know. But and me being from Cali or whatever, if you ever been in Mexico, you would know what type of hair they got and what skin complexion they got for real. Everybody don't look like J-Lo, okay? You seen her husband. Remember the husband she had? Mm-hmm. He had curly hair, right?
Yeah.
All right. And he was like an olive colored man. So I don't get this whole hatred thing. Black people need to get past that, understand the love for what they were blessed with this, which is melanin. Please understand that. Please understand how important your melanin is, and the fact that you come from African descent. And I'm not saying, oh, you shouldn't care about wherever you was before, but just know you got dropped off at a different location. You're still black and you're still an African. And your grandmothers were still raped. You understand what I'm saying? To get to the complexion that you are. You understand?
Right. Yeah.
That's really what happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me go ahead and take some more calls. I had a few calls. Well, thank you for calling in, though, sis.
All right, I love you, King. Thank you.
All right, you can call back if later.
I will probably. All right. Love you.
All right. Yeah, the callers who called in, you can call back. But yeah, the sister made some good points, and people said to me before, and I'm a black man. They say, "Oh, you have good hair," whatever that means. So I understand exactly what the sis was saying. She was breaking it down, and the person who called in, you can call back in, and anybody who want to call in, you can call in. The number's right there on the screen: 804-601-4015. And we talking about the one drop rule and defining it for ourselves. And the sister was right. We are the first. They come from us. But the way America has always used the mulatto or the biracial, and the dominant society weaponizes every single thing, right? So they'll let in, a half white, half black person and say that represent all black people, when really they don't. And usually they'll pick a biracial person who's more on their side. Right, like I was saying about the slave owner William Ellison. They say, well, black people were slave owners, and they point to him. And I'm not gonna say black people didn't own other people or force black people to work in America, but he was a mulatto. His father was a slave owner. So some of these slave owners actually accepted the son that they had with a black woman, especially when they actually loved the black woman, even though they was raping them, and the black woman may not have loved them back. But they took these, children under their wing and accepted them as their son and bred them to be slave owners. But now we looking back saying, well, this black person was a slave owner. So, the mulatto argument can be used in a lot of different ways, and anybody can call in, and then the number is right there on the screen is 601-4015. Um, but that goes back to the whole issue of the slave Negro and the house Negro, the white beauty standard. The straighter the hair, the more beautiful. The lighter the skin, the more beautiful. All right, which was, to me, completely untrue. And luckily, I was never really affected as much because we're all affected in a white supremacy society, right? But I want to hear what you got to say about, should we accept, the mulatto? Do you have to have two black parents to be considered black? Or, if you're biracial, all you need is one parent to be considered black. Do we still accept the one drop rule or not? So, I want to hear what the people got to say about it. And you can call in, the numbers right there on the screen. And brother, yeah, True Independence, you can call in. Makari, you can call in. My brother Marcus, you can call in. And I ain't mean to cut the sister off. She can call back in. I guess the other callers didn't want to call back. But and this comes from the new video that I did put up. Where there was a 19-year-old Jeremy Lake, and I'm pretty sure some of you may have heard the story a while ago. But he was a mulatto. Yeah, black is dominant. But when I say mulatto, that's a legal term, and I kind of got used to saying that just reading old, laws and stuff like that. But biracial, and he was biracial, and he may have even been 3/4 white. Okay.
Marcus.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, Sam?
What's going on? This is Marcus?
Yeah, it's Marcus.
What's going on, my brother?
Yeah, man. Just loving the weather right now, but at the same time, gotta let you know, man, I appreciate the topics, especially this one. It's another hot one.
I appreciate it, bro.
Oh, yeah. Man, when it comes to being black, something that I gotta tell you is like, we can recognize black, with those that are passing. We look at them right in their face and be like, you black. I could tell you black. You ever been in that situation? You ever seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah. But back with the whole colorism and everything, that's something that they try to put on us just as another form, another level of division.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Let me get away from the music, so we're gonna get demonetized. But yeah, so that's what they put on us to divide us. Yeah. They put colorism on us to divide us. Also, another major thing that they do is they work hard to divide us by the sex. You know what I'm saying? They want black men not to get along with black women. They've been at that. They've been at displacement as far as putting a black woman in a position that black man needs to be in, even within their own home, whether it be through finances, whether it be through the law or whatever. Yeah, so I just had a couple of little things on my heart to spit right quick and interject into the conversation.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm eager to hear what everybody else has to say about this and about the colorism, the one drop rule. Keep on going, my brother. Love you. Peace.
Thank you, my brother. Thanks for the call, my brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right.
And Moki agree with you, and you was breaking it down, and this is definitely a shaky topic because it can go either way, and people might have biracial people in their family or whatever the case may be, but this goes back to what people like Muhammad Ali was saying. That may be why we have some of the problems. That it stems from that. It doesn't cure racism, certainly. Like Muhammad Ali famously said, red birds fly with red birds, blue birds fly with blue birds, pigeons be with pigeons, and he has a point because it gets to a you never know what to expect, and yeah, you can say something else, Moki. It's all good, but this comes from the video that I did earlier, and the kid Jeremy Lake was 19 years old, and he himself was a biracial, right? He may even been 3/4 white. But this a white girl, and you may have heard of the story before, but the white girl, her adopted parents killed him because he was a black man dating his white daughter. And he rolled up to his house and shot him. Okay.
Awesome.
Hello?
Okay. What I want to say about this right quick is, okay, they say, it was a vast difference between the so-called house nigga, and I hate that word, and the field nigga or whatever. No, it wasn't. Because what people don't know, because they probably didn't read or whatever and study it like I have, did you know that every black man that was in the house, the so-called house nigga or whatever, they castrated him to make sure he never, ever, ever, ever slept with a white woman in that house. Okay? That's number one. Number two, now, they had these mixed children, if that's what you want to call it, black kids or whatever. The mistress of the house, or whatever you want to call her, the devil woman of the house, she made sure that she was awfully mean to that woman, because she knew that the husband was going to be raping her. She was inside the house. She knew that. And that went on. And that's how people's complexion got lighter and lighter because of that. They were raping their own kids. Come on now. Any man that can rape his own child, boys and girls, does that sound like something that somebody wants to just take in as something of, oh, this is just a great thing. I came out light complected, blah, blah, blah. And I ain't saying that you should not embrace your complexion because you didn't have nothing to do with that. What I'm saying is, it's a lie that people don't know about. Oh, the house man, the house whatever, had so much more privileges, and the house chick or whatever had so much more privileges. No, they didn't. They was raping their own kids. Right, and their brothers was, and their uncles was. You can look it up. You can read it. And whatever, or just listen to the slavery tales or whatever. Not slavery tales, but these are actual accounts by people that was 100 and some years old that did not have dementia and none of this stuff that we have now. They were not senile. They used to talk about it. Yeah. That's facts. So it was not a wonderful thing. It was not a beautiful thing to be in the house with the actual killer and the rapist. Do you think that was, come on, is that feasible? You in the house with him. He don't care that he don't even look at you like you his kid. He's slaving you too. You didn't get no special privileges. None of that. That's a lie. Right, you're right. They were the most vulnerable because they were in the house. And look at what I told you about them castrating the men that were in the house. You will not ever be trying to be in a position where you could have sex with a white woman. They don't talk about that, though. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's fact. Does that make sense to you? Yeah. That's how evil they was. Yeah. So it was a lot of things that went on in slavery times, and it's a lot of things that's going on right now with this whole thing with racism and colorism and all this other kind of thing. How do you not love your people? Why do you want to identify with, oh, I'm this and I'm half that and I'm half... These people will take Tiger Woods, for instance. Wherever he came from, China, I don't know, Asia, wherever, whatever. They don't care about him. Why are you claiming them? They don't claim you. They're not flying up here to see you golf before he fell off. That girl got all his money. That white girl, she had all his money. The one he married, yes. And all of these people that share their money and stuff when they get some and they think they got somewhere by marrying the opposite of their color, look at what happened. So all I can say is this here. I know a beautiful black man that as soon as you say his name, the first thing you think in your head is fine. And that's Denzel Washington. And he has a black wife. And she's been his wife from beginning to the end. When he was nothing and nobody, they met each other in college. She ain't never left him. Never. And I'm going to say another thing that I have never seen in my life, ever. That funeral for Kobe, and nobody acknowledged his family. That could have never happened if he had a black wife. I don't care what him and his family fell out about. We wouldn't have Kobe if it wasn't for his mother and his father. They sat there. Nobody said nothing about them. Period. That's not the way black people behave. You understand me?
Right.
She made sure that didn't happen. And guess who got all of his money? She did. She ain't nobody. But her family is rich. They're a dynasty now. And that happens so many times when it's either black women or black men when you do that. If something happens with you, your whole dynasty goes to that culture. And like I said with Tiger Woods, that girl was a babysitter. She got all that man's money. And we need to start looking at what this is. And I'm going to tell you something else. This is the last thing I'm going to say. One of my best friends, she has got a black mother and a black father and a white mother, and it's hard for mixed children because they don't fit in anywhere, and it's hard. And she told me about her life or whatever. She was given up for adoption. She ended up living with some white people, and they just, they adopted her and they treated her crazy when she would not say, I'm white. So it's not no picnic being a mixed child because you really don't know where you fit in at unless you start to get into your adolescent days and getting older and you got black men or black women or whatever that feel like, oh, he got green eyes. Oh, he got pretty hair. Oh, he got this, he got that, or she got this and she got that. And all this, that, and the other. This is crazy. We need to love each other because we love each other. Not because of what we look like, because of somebody that oppressed, enslaved our ancestors. And that's facts. That is facts. I don't understand that. Nobody else's culture does that but us.
Man. But,
why do we do that?
Yeah, I know, sir. But let me go ahead and keep the show kind of going.
Okay.
All right, thank you, sis. I appreciate the call.
No doubt.
All right, thank you. But yeah, she definitely made a lot of good points, and she's right. That's why it's a shaky topic because in some cases, they are down for the culture. In other cases, they aren't. And like you said, during slavery, there were, especially mulatto women, they were victim just as much as, dark skin, light skin. It didn't really matter. They all got, harsh treatment, right? It was this one woman who was a slave, biracial, and she was being raped by her own father, and she was married to a black man, but he didn't know. And they actually escaped to the north, and she dressed as a white man because she was passing. She was able to pass, and she dressed as a white man, and her husband was her helper, and they was able to get to the north. I forget her name. So the sister makes some valid points with that, and that's why it's a two-sided coin, because you also have, like I was saying, people like William Edison, who saw himself as his white slave owner father, and he was harsh as a slave owner like his father was. So is a two-edged coin. And that's why it's important for debates like this and topics like this. And I want to try to get as many calls as I can in here, because I don't want to be on here too much longer or too long. So the number is right there on the screen, and it's 804-601-4015. So I want to hear what all of you got to say about the one drop rule. How should we today as a community deal with this rule? Should we just keep it as it is and just accept every group, have black, have Asian person, are they black? Have black person, have white, are they black? Should we accept it? And I want to hear what you got to say about it. And the number is right there on the screen. It's 804-601-4015. And this comes from the latest video I just put up on my backup channel, the Forecast Radio 24, where this 19-year-old Jeremy Lake, he was killed after he was talking to this white girl. Her adopted father killed him. He rolled up to his house, and I'm pretty sure most of you heard the case. He rolled up to his house and essentially did a drive-by, because this person, this who what he would call a black person, was talking to his daughter, and his daughter was staying there. So Jeremy Lake himself was a mulatto or biracial, and he was probably 3/4 white. But the media portrayed this case as white father kills daughter's black boyfriend, and he was a cop, and his wife was a cop. His name was Shannon Kepler. His name is Shannon Kepler, and he did get 15 years, but they only charged him with manslaughter, even though he rolled up to his house off duty and shot him, killed him, and they only charged him with manslaughter after 3 mistrials, where they only had one black juror, but eventually, they gave him 15 years. But they made the entire case about this white father killing a black man for dating his daughter. And I just wanted to know, is a biracial, should they be considered black? And we talk about politics a lot, and every time we talk about politics, Barack Obama comes up. He has a black father and a white mother, and they say he is the first black president. But is he the first black president? Has there ever been a black president that has two black parents? And what does it mean to have two black parents if all you need is one black parent to be a black person? And like I said, it's a tricky topic, because you could be on one side or the other. Um, yeah, that's the thing. I would say there are mulattoes who go extremely hard. Well, I keep saying mulattoes, and that's the legal term for it. And I'm kind of stuck on the legal terms from back in the day, but the biracial, the ones that are down, they are extremely down. But then there are others who aren't down and will sabotage you and go to the other side. And I can't say light skin or dark skin people fought harder for black people. Me personally, but it's two sides to the whole story. And to me personally, I think most biracial, and this is generally speaking, is gonna identify with one side or the other. And if they identify with the black side, they'll have the black power fist up before any of us probably will. But then, like I said, I know biracial people. Like this one girl on my Facebook timeline, and the only time she identifies as black is when she's talking about black people. We need to do better, but you'll never see her calling out white people on their racism. And if she does say something, it's, well, we black people need to get over racism. And the dominant society has always weaponized every single thing, including the mulatto or a biracial person. And then you see, a lot of stuff the sister Moki was talking about, and that grew into, the whole brown paper bag test, back in the early 1900s, where you couldn't get into the club unless you passed, your lighter than the brown paper bag. And we still see it, today. It is prevalent in our community. And like the sister was talking about good hair, you know, women have actually said to me, "Oh, you have good hair." Like they're surprised, whatever good hair means. Right? But hair not only affects women. I seen a meme of a little boy, he kind of had like the nappy hair, what people would call quote unquote nappy hair, where he had the beans in his head. And he said, this is a bad little boy that's gonna get in fights and get suspended. But they based it, just off the way he looked, because he was a dark skinned black boy with nappy hair kinda. So, the stereotype is he's gonna be a troublemaker. He's gonna cause problems, which eventually feeds into the prison, the pipeline system. And it also brainwashes us. And you see, skin bleach, how much selling that is in Africa and other places, and how many people bleach their skin. But a lot of times they just end up looking like Sammy Sosa. But it's all of these images because the dominant society, white supremacy system means the lighter you are, the better you are. The lighter the eyes, the better. When, nature doesn't really say that. Nature says, recessive is weaker. And, you can say, love is love if you want. But if you want to date outside of your race, outside of your culture, then you're going to have to destroy the system first. You're going to have a system in place that's going to be able to protect you no matter what systems or no matter what decision you make. But while you can be victim anytime, and we have to practice group everything, not just group economics. We have to rebuild our community from scratch, and this time be prepared from an outside attack. But how can we do that if we're arguing over every single little thing? But if anybody want to call in, the number is right there on the screen. I ain't gonna be on here too long or whatever. Moki, what do you mean? What's not true? But yeah, anybody can call in and say whatever. Yeah, he should have got life, but he only got 15 years, and he didn't get charged for murder. Hello.
Peace, brother Forecast. What's going on?
What's going on, this brother Bakari?
Yeah, this Bakari. What's going on?
What's going on, my brother?
It's good. This is a nice topic you have.
Yeah, I appreciate
So
it.
me, I don't live by the one drop rule. The one drop rule don't make sense to me. That's an old slave narrative for some strange reason. Black people want to hold on to it, but they didn't truly believe in the one drop rule, right? Because I'm gonna give you an example. Was J. Edgar Hoover black? Can you answer that? Was J. Edgar Hoover black?
Not to me.
Okay, but if you go down his lineage, he had black heritage in him through slavery, but he was not black. Now, the one drop rule, everyone knows what an HBCU is, correct? Now, an HBCU was created, majority of them anyway, was created by white people, right? Old Confederates, right? Mostly for mulatto kids. And if you study them, that's what it would tell you, for their mixed kids, for mixed people, because they felt the mixed people was easier to work with than black people. They feel the mixed people had, like you said earlier, because I was listening to your show, had some type of an allegiance to that side, so they were easier to work with. So once you start studying these things, you realize that they didn't believe in the one drop rule. That was just something they put on us, and we choose to accept whatever they put on us way back then and still accept it today. I do not call them mixed race kid black. They're mixed. Hell, I have, it's hard for me to say it was, used to be anyway, but I have mulatto grandkids. They are not black. They're mulatto. They're my grandkids, and I love them. But they are mulatto. They are not black. And I would tell anyone that they are not black. They're mixed. If you want black kids, black man, black woman get together. And even under a system that I hear people call it a system of white supremacy, I don't talk about white supremacy because I don't think anyone is superior to me. I have another idea about that. But even if you went under this system, dating outside of your race, you're killing your race. You're not keeping your race alive. You're allowing your race to die. Because if a black person marries something that's non-black, because it's not just the white that they go marry, it's anything that's non-black. And that mixed child go marry something that's non-black, right? That's non-black. What is that child going to be? It's not going to be black. And as I'm talking to you, I see Moki White put in things that they are black. Please believe we dominate everybody. And that's good to say. But see, me, I believe in DNA, right? Do I know the mulattoes that I'm cool with? Yes, I do. I'm real cool with. And when they took their DNA test, because of what happened to black people during slavery, we have to account for that. So what happened to a lot of our people during slavery, when we go outside, especially if it's white, that mulatto child, if they do a DNA test, is going to be majority white. And that's a fact because of what happened to us during slavery. My friend is mulatto. She'll tell you she's biracial. She says she's never dated a white man. She only dated black men. She said her kids are black, so she went and married her black man. That's who she have her kids by. But when she got her DNA test, she was only 55. She was 55% European ancestry, 45% African ancestry. So they are not. And that's a fact. And when Moki White, once again, because I'm looking at because I'm watching the show, she said, well, then I'm not black. If you want to say what happened to someone during slavery is the same as someone going out choosing to be with someone from another race, well, that's your hang up, not mine. Because what happened to black people during slavery, that was something at the time they didn't have control of. But when someone go out and choose to be with the other race, that's a choice. And they didn't make a black kid. I have a black mother and a black father. That's a choice. And I'm black. But two of my grandkids, they are mulatto. And I love them to death. But they're not black. Because if you tell that child it's black, right? If you tell that child it's black, because it has a black parent, then they get older and go home and look at his non-black mother, his non-black parent, be it white, Mexican, or whatever. That child is going to ask, how am I just black? And mama, you're white. Or mama, you're Chinese. Or mama, you're Japanese. I can't just be black. I have to be both. There have to be both. But for me, I don't go by the one drop rule. One drop rule don't make you black. Because if one drop rule made you black, then 95% of the world is going to be black. If you go by the one drop rule. My son's school teacher did her DNA test because that's what she wanted to prove. Everybody had a little African in her. She was 2% African. So with the one drop rule, she was 2% African, 98% European. So if you go by the one drop rule, that would make her black. She's not black. She's white. She's European. She's Caucasian, whatever you want to call it. But she's not African. So the one drop rule, and I'm speaking for me. For me, the one drop rule don't count. If people want to count the one drop rule, that's them. They can count whatever they want to count. So now you're grouping yourself with everybody. So when you group yourself with everybody, you can't complain about racism. So who is racist against you if everybody is you? No one is racist towards you because everybody is you. I'm just speaking for me. And thank you for accepting my call. Forecast.
Yeah, I appreciate the call, my brother. You can call back anytime.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna hit you up too.
All right.
All right.
Peace.
Yeah, he definitely made some good points as well. And that's the whole point of the conversation because this is a shaky topic because and it's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy for biracials or mulattoes or whatever, and it's definitely difficult for them. And that's the whole reason why a lot of the rules in America or the laws that they passed, because they was like it's been said a lot, they was doing so much raping that they had to pass laws just to protect themselves. And they passed laws to ensure that to try to stop white men and women from having sex, not just white women. They didn't actually send white men to jail for raping black women, but they passed laws that if they had children with them, they would be punished and they would be shamed. Right? They tried to shame Thomas Jefferson when they found out he had mulatto children, when he was trying to run for president. But yeah, so I want to hear what you got to say about the one drop rule. If a half black person and a half white person is considered black, and if they're not, if they are, where do you draw the line at? Right? What if you have three black grandparents and one white grandparent? Where do you draw the line at? And people's that's like the second or third time someone said J. Edgar Hoover is a mulatto, right? But he wouldn't be considered black. But then you have Barack Obama, who is a mulatto, and he would be considered black. And should mulatto just be his own class? Because in American history, especially, has always been his own class. But let me see what y'all saying. Yeah, it definitely did. And the whole mulatto thing, and it has destroyed empires. It has destroyed everything. Back on that, when you look at Haiti during the Haitian Revolution, they were able to kick the Europeans out. But then the black, as I would say black people and the mulattoes, then they start having civil wars. And they fought each other for so long that the French was able to come back in there and say, well, we're going to take back over unless you pay us however much money they made them pay. So, did they really win the Haitian Revolution? When it was the mulatto class that ensured, that they didn't have freedom, and is the problems that they come from today can, be traced to that. So, this is a tricky topic. Lincoln, he was supposed to be black. I heard that he was supposed to be mulatto anyway, but he wouldn't be considered black. He definitely wouldn't call himself black. Obama is black, but he's not ADOS black. But I'm not sure if Obama would even say he's black. I have never heard him say he's black personally. And I've heard him say, I wouldn't do anything personally for black people. I'm not the president of Black America. I have heard him say that. Right.
True Independence.
Hello?
What's up, bro?
What's going on, man? Who is this?
True Independence.
All right, what's going on, bro?
Same old thing. Yeah, I have to keep it real with you.
Yeah,
I'm kind of off topic, but
hey, you're gonna have to turn it down a little bit in the back.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Is it better?
Well, no, you got to turn it down. It's an echo. It's echoing.
Echo? All right, my bad.
Yeah, you got to turn
The
it down.
TV.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, from my experience, I'm kind of off topic. I did a lot of time in prison, more than actually been walking the earth. So the topic is, kind of off. I ain't been home for too long. However, when I was there was this officer. His name was Riddick, New York State Correctional Facility with Ben Green, and he was like really dark skinned. So one day, I was on my way to the mess hall. I missed Charlie. He didn't let me in. So I was like, yo, man, that's some foul shit you're doing to me, black man. So the man was like, I'm not black. I'm French Canadian. However, I blame that on the educational system. More or less, he's confused about who he is, And also about the school system, that conveyor belt thing. It's like emotional dependency, take away your creativity, curiosity. And due to those things, we start losing ourselves. We grow up bitter, one another. We don't know who our fathers is. It's like you were saying, the sister. It just get hard for us, and people hate each other, and I don't know why. Today you have a lot of immigrants over here, and they all come over here talking about they don't like black people. They don't want to do business with you in New York City. It's real foul. And, we all come from Africa. Yeah, it's really rough, man. This is a topic, it's a hard topic for me because there's so much, wow. Right now, it's making me very emotional just thinking about it. Oh, shit. Hello?
Yeah, you all right, my brother?
I'm sorry about that. Like, kind of like blame closing. And these are not like topics I'm usually talking about. I'm usually talking about topics dealing with law and government and whatever it is. So, I'm pretty much an expert in that topic. Yeah, us as black people, man, honestly, we have to change our way of thinking in order we have to change our conditions. I don't know. I just wanted to call in because, I see nobody calling in when it's FaceTime, but honestly, we got to get ourselves together and become one and love each other. Right. Other than that, I really don't have a lot to say about that because, I never really think about things like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't discriminate against no one. People is people. I love everybody, no matter who you are. And I was raised different, so those topics is not never in my household. We never cared about what your race is, so it's kind of hard. But at the end of the day, us as the black people, we need to unite. We need to do what the Jews do. Instead of going out, buying Jordans and all that, we should donate to each other and create businesses. We should teach each other how to fill out documents like, LLCs. We should teach each other things like credit and how to use debt. We should teach each other civics, how to be a better citizen, how to make decisions, and put that pressure on the Congress. Because it ain't about the president, it ain't about the rest of them, it's about that Congress. There's a lot of things that we can just do as people, but we just don't. But, I know one day when you talking about other things, what I'm well versed in, then I would definitely give you a chat. I just wanted to call in though.
Right. I appreciate the call, man, for real.
No problem, man.
Thank you.
Anytime.
All right.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, I definitely understand what the brother is saying. And oh yeah, by the way, the brother True Independence, like sometimes people call me on this phone. This phone goes to my house phone. It's a Google number. So, it doesn't come to my phone. And, I don't really see nobody call on the phone, so if you call, if I'm not home, I'm not going to be able to see the calls. And that's, just for people who I've been missing the calls. I've been meaning to say that. But anyway, yeah, the brother made some good points. And we do have to unify. And, that's a part of the problem and the danger with this topic completely. And I'm not gonna say I'm an expert. This is something that we all have our opinions on, and we all see it as how we want to see it. And somebody, William Bell, said, "What is Meghan Markle? Is she black? And better yet, what is her son or what is her kid? He's also biracial, but where do you draw the line that if you do accept a half black, half white person as black, what if that half black person who would be considered black has a kid with a white person and their child is considered, black because they're, 1/4 black. They still have a drop or, whatever it is. And down the line, at what point do you lose your blackness? And, it's a complicated subject. And, like I was saying, that's why a lot of these laws that Europeans created in America, they fine and punish white men for actually having children with black women because they understood the problem. But at the same time, like the sister Moki said, these are the same people that enslave their own children, right? And it's not like a house slave is still a slave. And we get the image of a house slave being extra submissive, and that's why they're in the house. No, especially when it came to women, most of the time they kept the most beautiful women in the house so they could rape them more often. You know, and the system definitely made great points about that. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, And I try to come on and be here more often, but sometimes you got things to do. But we definitely got to have conversations like this. You know, yeah, Obama's mother was white and his father was from Kenya, and but like I said, Obama never considered himself black. He apologized for saying Trayvon Martin would look like him, and he probably would, or his son would look like Trayvon Martin, and his son probably would, especially since he had a kid with a black woman. Now, for the people who don't think that's black, right? If you have a mulatto person and they have a kid with a black woman, now is their kid black? Where do you draw the line there, right? So it goes on both sides, and you have mulattoes who have intentionally come into the community, because they believe in their white side, or they focus on their white side or whatever on their white side more, and they'll do whatever to get accepted. But then you have the other side who, identifies with black and will ride for black causes more than anybody. But at some point, we got to start making our own rules for our system ourselves, right? And if we want to keep the one drop rule as it is, or make our own one drop rule, however we want to do it, now is the time to, do these kind of things. Yeah, it's definitely, you can definitely do that. It's a house phone, so it goes straight to my house phone, but it's just when I'm not in the house, it doesn't come to my phone, and I don't really see the voicemail unless it comes up on my email. So I don't really know when you call or which numbers people call from. But yeah, Wild CC44, call in. Right. And the biracial class, and they were used for that purpose as well. And sometimes I can't speak as a biracial because both of my parents are black, and that has to count for something. For both of your parents to be black, you're a black person, right? Because if you can just have a kid with anybody and have a black kid, what is black? What is being with a black person? Okay, that's what's up. But I just wanted to come on to have this conversation, and if you can, if you, this conversation comes from the video I just put up on my backup channel, and you can go subscribe there, and you'll be able to see the videos. Hopefully it's still up. I'm not really sure. A lot of times YouTube will just take my video down just because. So I'm not really sure it's up there. And while I was doing the story, I was thinking about it because the 19-year-old who was shot, Jeremy Lake, is a biracial person, probably three-fourths white. But they made the entire case about a white father, a white cop, shooting and killing an unarmed black person because he was dating his daughter. And they always use, well, I especially back in the day, most of the time they use biracials to represent the entire culture, and most times they use biracials who identify with their white side to represent the entire culture. That's what's up, William Richardson. Hopefully they'll leave it up and they won't mess with me. I ain't talking about like no particular group, but if anybody got anything to say on this topic, I want to hear from you. I want to give everybody a chance to say everything they got to say. And the calling number is right there. It's on the screen. It's 804-601-5385. 4015. You know, what should what should we do about the one drop rule? And it's an interesting topic because I've seen both sides of the coin. I've seen, the mulatto person that, or biracial person that, would identify as the white side and, attack the black side every chance they get. And sometimes they'll even use these people to fill certain quotas that they have to give us, like just affirmative action, for example, or you'll have a biracial mayor and you'll call him a black mayor, but he'll only identify as black when it's time to say black people need to do better, right? But they put them out there not only to take up, these positions that's supposed to be set aside for us, even though, I understand why we fought to have these positions set aside, but we can't be dependent on other groups or anybody else to sit anything aside for us. All right, we just have to be prepared when they come in, ready to destroy it again. Because believe me, they will try to come again, and they will use every single thing. That's why we have to have all of these kind of topics. They've used the mulatto to destroy revolutions, like the Haitian Revolution. So we have to be clear on how we want, our society to be, because like it or not, we have to create our own society. But I don't want to be in here all night, but I want to hear people's opinion on this topic. So I want to give everybody a chance. If you didn't call in, or if you got anything else to say, even if you did call in, you can call back in and say whatever you got to say. So I'll stay on for a little bit longer. But this is the whole dynamic, and it goes back to interracial dating. Now, if you want to date outside of your group, you have to destroy the system, And I know the brother Bakari said he doesn't say white supremacy, but I will say it because, and I used to say the same thing, and I completely understand why he say that, but it's not that they're superior to us. It is the fact that we are in a system where they can do stuff to us and we can't do anything about it. They created a system where they're superior in that system, not that they're superior. But if you want to date outside of your race, you have to destroy that system. Okay, Moki, that's what's up. That's cool. You can hit me up now, or you can call me after the show. It's all good. And anybody who want to get in contact with me, um, my information is in the description. You can email me or whatever. All right.
Call from Tony Guy.
Hello.
Hey, this is Wild C44 calling you.
Yeah,
you want to talk with me?
Yeah, what's going on, bro?
Hey, how you doing, man? I like your show.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Hello?
Hello? Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, this thing, I think the new leaders for us that are emerging are the ones that's on the internet, it seems. Because after Malcolm X and Martin Luther King died, it was like a big drop-off. Who was out there that was going to tell black people anything? I didn't see nobody. And now that we have the internet, it seems like you're going to have a lot of people stepping forward to say different things. Nietzsche X, Tone Talks, and people like that, right?
I noticed in the chat that somebody said that was wondering who or what ADOS was, this American Descendants of Slaves, right? And Tone Talks came up with that because everybody that comes to this country from Africa or some other place, because they're black, because they got dark skin, they think that, oh, I'm over here in America and now I'm black just like the rest of the black people here. But that's not true, because the black people that's here, that have been here, were descendants of slaves and been in every war that's ever existed here in the United States. And now it's like everybody wants to jump on the bandwagon and say, hey, I'm here, give us, some funds or whatever from the government. And they're getting all the stuff that the black people that fought in these wars and everything else, their ancestors, should have got. And that's basically what the problem's been. You hear me?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah, so that's what you're going to see. A lot of stuff starting to pop up about, that's why you hear about reparations and all of that. And now that this coronavirus stuff has come out, everybody's going to be saying, that's black, going to be saying, hey, where's my reparations? Because it's really going to start to show. The government is going to, they always want to tell you that, oh, we don't have no money for this and we don't have no money for that, and especially we don't have no money for reparations. But this coronavirus pops up, and guess what? They got plenty of money for that, don't they? Trillions of dollars. Oh, we can spend trillions of dollars, but we don't have no money for black people. So now it's just going to be, all messed up for black people, and it's really going to show. And nobody likes the fact that you have these leaders or these entertainers running around talking about how many billions that they got, Kanye West, Jay-Z, Puff Daddy. Nobody wants to hear from them because they know it's all trash. They don't have the money that they really saying that they got when you break all this stuff down, because they don't really own anything. They don't own no real business. They still dependent on the white man. If the white man decides he wants to cut them off tomorrow, they would lose everything. Who's going to make those shoes for Kanye West? He ain't got no factories. And see, that's what the whole problem is. If you go to Tone Talks, he'll tell you the same thing. He's got all the data on all these points that I'm talking about. Most of America is owned by white people, at least 90%. Black people own about 2.6 of, the rest of the stuff. So with that type of stuff going on, how are you going to basically get your own stuff when they own everything? Unless the government steps in and do what it should have did a long time ago and gave black people what they own. So that's what the real problem is, how I see it. Until they do something about that, we're always going to have a problem here in the United States.
All right, I appreciate that, man. Thanks for the call, my brother.
Okay. Keep up the good work.
All right, thank you.
All right, later.
All right. Yeah, I felt what he's saying. In the show, well, we talking about, the one drop rule, and to, kind of tie in, I guess, the ADOS thing to the one drop rule. I heard people asking the question, what about somebody with a white parent and a black parent? How does that work? So, these are questions that you have to answer, and how do we see about the one drop rule? All right.
Oops, your caller just hung up. Goodbye.
You can call back in, but yeah, like I said, I guess to tie it in, like, how do you answer that question? if a person is half black, half white, do they get half reparations or do they get the whole thing? What if they're, 3/4 or the other way around, like I was saying? So, the one drop rule is an interesting topic and it's a topic that we need to discuss and probably have to come back at another time with this topic. But if anybody else got anything to say about the topic, I'll let you call in because I'm not gonna be on this here too much longer. I'll take a few more calls.
Awesome.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
I have to call back. This Pokey.
Hey.
All right, so look here. So we want to talk about the one drop rule, the one drop of blood thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
What about all of these white people with that one drop of blood? Because for sure it applies to them as well. Now what's up?
Yeah, that's the question.
No, that's a real question because we already know that it has been a lot of, like I said, with the whole in-house slave girl, and she's already, Halle Berry, particular color or whatnot, and whatever. And look, I can see a white girl right now to this day, and I can tell she got some black blood in her. I can just see it.
Yeah.
I can see it from the thickness of her hair.
Mm-hmm.
I can see it from the shape of her body. Tell me you ain't never seen it.
Yeah, you can tell. But let me ask you this.
White,
Let me ask you this though.
What about they white? They one drop of black blood. What about them?
All right. So
That's funny.
So let me ask you this though, like where would you cut the line off? Like say they had one black grandparent and 3 white grandparents. Would you cut the line off there or how would you, determine?
Well, first and foremost, the way I look at things is I look at them from a biological point of view. First of all, this whole white drop of blood thingy or whatever or whatnot. Okay, you didn't have a baby with your kid or your niece who's in the house or whoever, because that happens all the time back in slavery or whatever. And these kids come out looking white. Now, I'm going to say this. My cousin, he was darker than me, but we all got this thick, pretty hair, right? We all got this long, thick hair or whatnot. And his kids was super white because he had a kid or kid's son with a white girl. And she had red hair and she was super doughy white, like just gluey white, just white. And for a minute, her kids just looked all the way white. And I knew they was his kids or whatever, even though they didn't look like him, they didn't look like her. The mixed kids usually don't look like anybody. Anyway, his dad, my uncle, he used to refer to him as the white kids, and he used to piss me off. Like, why are you calling them the white kids? But now they've grown up, right? So they're probably in their teenage years, and they got curly hair, they were tan. But when they first was born, they were very white, like straight up white kids, like, And you wouldn't expect that from a chocolate, dark-skinned brother. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But that was what happened. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So they come came in when they got older. And their hair came in curly and this, that, and the other, and thick and different things of that nature. They had three kids together. And so you can definitely tell they're black now. But when they were born, you could not. So what about that? What about these white people?
Yeah.
They hid their children from that one drop of blood. You understand what I'm saying? Because she could. For a minute. You seen it in the movie Life. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
At the beginning, they was one. And then it was like, okay, as the baby got older, who baby is this? Remember that? And they was like, I'll be that baby Tommy. All of them said it. They kept saying it so nobody would know, who was the actual father.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, this is outrageous. Outrageous. You know, the bottom line is we have the dominant gene. It's gonna come out. You understand what I'm saying? We have the dominant gene. I'm not gonna say that somebody is mixed. I'm just not gonna do it because you're not. You're a black person. You're just a light-skinned black person. Can you understand what I'm saying? You're just a light-skinned black person. That's it. That's all. That's it. You get older, you get tan, light tan. That's fine. We've seen those people, but we know they black. We see them. I don't care who you bring up. I can say we know they black. We know our people when we see them. Am I correct?
Right. Well, yeah.
I mean, you can't hide from who you are. And black people need to know that just because somebody is black complected does not mean you have to just be like, oh, well, you're mixed or whatever. Because white people is not claiming that. You a nigga, but out. That's what they call us. Period. They don't care how many shades. Look, do you think now I brought up Lena Horne in the comments. You seen that?
Mm-hmm. But
you know who Lena Horne is, right?
Yeah, I remember the singer. Mm-hmm.
She's very, 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 very fair skinned. What are white people letting her come through the door? You better get your ass to the back. They don't care. We can go as far as Dorothy Andrews, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about that. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. But yeah, let me because I'm about to wrap the show up real soon. I'm gonna let the
other. Wrap it up because I really wanna.
Yeah, you can
conversation with you.
Yeah, you can call. Yeah, you can call me. I'm gonna probably wrap it up. I had like somebody else want. 4015.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put it in.
We need to have a conversation because this is crazy, and we got to get on the same accord.
Yeah.
And stuff. I'm talking about this period with everything, and like we tune into listening to some other people. We talked about that before, and I knew you listened to him too. But anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna call you when you wrap it up.
Okay.
But yeah. Okay. No, I look at my people like, you ain't black enough or whatever because you light skinned, still black, and you still gonna take the same pitch that we take.
Right.
And I love you just the same. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. All right.
Okay, that's all I want to say.
Okay, I'll be done soon, so you can give me a call then.
Okay.
All right, yeah, and for like I said before, Brother Bukar, you can call back in. I said you can call in. I'm not gonna be on the show too much longer. I'm trying to give everybody a chance to voice their opinion. But I don't want to be on here too much longer. It's already getting late where I am, on the East Coast. So give Brother Bakari a chance to call back in because he wanted to call in and let him do his thing. But this is a tricky topic, and it's a interesting topic because I can see both sides of the equation, and I can even see it from the point of view of a biracial or mulatto person. But I also see it as a melanated black man, and I understand, the and war, is always the same thing. You know, what's going on, brother Adar? You can call in. I'm not gonna be on here too much longer because I've been on here for a while, and it's getting late where I am. So I want to wrap the show up. I'm trying to give brother Bakari a chance to call back in. You can call back in, and brother Roberto, you can call in if you want. Um, how should we define the one drop rule as a generation today? We get to make our own rules, our own laws. Should we go by the old school one drop rule like it's always been? Or, you know, how should we, make it work in our favor? And, there's been interesting arguments on both sides. And I can see both sides. And, you know, for me, I would just personally say, you know, I would personally say you would have to, eh, you would have to have two black parents to be a black person for me. You know, I wouldn't be, like it's just my opinion. But, mulatto in America, as far as the law is concerned, has been its own category. And it always has been. Um, yeah, it does, because if you can have a kid if I can go have a kid with a white woman and I can call that kid black, what what would be the purpose? To me, you need a black woman, and I understand what the brother was saying about the ADOS argument, and I completely understand what he's saying. And as far as reparations, and on the legal sense, I understand, but at the same time, we do need global unity, and that's a tricky topic in itself because the claim for reparations is this and that, but biracial, where do they fit in when it comes to reparations? Do they get, the check? What if they have, you know, um, all right, brother Bakari.
Awesome.
Hello.
Peace, bro.
What's going on, my brother?
Yeah, man. Look, man, this is an excellent show. Look, I just want to tell you once again, like I said, I don't believe in a one drop rule. Because if you can one drop can make you black, one drop can make you white. You shouldn't have to tell a child that they're gonna have to choose one side of their family over the other side of their family. It doesn't make sense. But I stepped away. I didn't even think you was gonna still be on when I came back. But the reason I was gonna call in, and I don't even want to, this is not what your show is about. When you mentioned the guy on there, you mentioned ADOS. The guy on there talking about ADOS. And the reason I don't talk about white supremacy, because the first thing this guy said that came on here, he talked about black people coming from other countries. That's not white supremacy that don't want to deal with other black people. That was a black man from this country that's distinguishing himself from other people because he's from this country, saying they went through slavery and the other ones didn't. So I wonder why black people in this country speak English, and black people in Nigeria speak English, and black people in Ghana speak English, and in Jamaica, and you can go on and on and on, because we were enslaved by the same people. It's not just America that owe black people. And if we're going to do a DNA test, if we're going to come up with a percentage of who should get reparations, There's a lot of black people that wouldn't get reparations, and there's a lot of black people that don't want to take a DNA test. Because there's a lot of black people that don't believe in science. Someone asked me, if someone put in the chat, but who's doing that DNA test that you took? But I can tell you one thing, I found a niece. She's 35 years old. We didn't even know she was existed through taking the DNA test. Because the DNA test was like, family here, here, here. And that's how we found our niece 2 years ago, was through taking a DNA test. Let us know you have relatives out in San Diego, California. Didn't even know she existed. So if we do a DNA test and say, you have to be, I'm just going to throw out a number, you have to be 65%, right, of African descent, right? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of black people that won't get nothing because they don't believe in science. We don't believe in science. We'll rock with the one drop rule, but we won't rock with science to learn something different. I understand why black people don't trust white people. Trust me. I don't either. But until we create a system, and there's certain things, you don't have to go to the white people to get your DNA test. You can go to Rick Kittle's African Ancestry, AfricanAncestry.com. He got the largest African database. And that's a black man, founded by a black man and black woman. African Ancestry is actually owned by black people. So you don't have to go to a white people to get your DNA test. But yes, there should be some type of rule to say who's going to get reparations. There should be some type of rule. We should. There have to be a percentage. Like when you find people saying they are, like they got people that say they're Native American, right? Mm-hmm. But you know, if you read these Native American bylaws, in order for these people to get something from these Native Americans, they have to take a DNA test, and I think you have to be like 12% in your DNA. See, we haven't gotten that far yet because anything been given to us. But we do need to figure out something, and we do need to figure out some rules. Something has to be done.
Hey,
something has to be. But
like,
please, bro, you can go ahead and wrap it up.
No, I'm about to ask you.
Go ahead.
Like, Abe just said, would Frederick Douglass be eligible for a check? According to my opinion, he wasn't black. He didn't have 2 black parents. Now, let me ask you.
I wouldn't say.
Well, let me ask you. Well, you can answer that too, but let me ask you this: like, where do you draw the line? Like I asked the sister, where do you draw the line? What if they have, 1 white grandparent and 3 black grandparents? Are they, black then, or like where do you draw the line?
3 black grandparents. No, man, you can
like they're still mixes, so
No, but that's not enough. See, what people, you can actually breed out a race. You can kill them off and breed them out at the same time. Go look over at the Tasmanian Islands over there around Australia. The ones that wouldn't kill out, they were just bred out. Because if you can kill off the men and you can rape the women, and that woman have a daughter, go back to with a white man, and then just constantly go back to white. Eventually, you ain't gonna have enough of your DNA left in you to say that you're black. But Frederick Douglass was, I don't know if his mother was raped or not, but he was proud to say he was mixed. People that was enslaved during that time, came in through enslavement. I don't count them the same as I count people today who was out here making choices. Because, man, it had been, if people had beat you so bad where they could enslave you, just imagine they could do anything else. So I won't say, because that would be like me talking bad about Booker T. Washington, one of my heroes. But his father, he said he knew that was his father, but he never claimed that side. But he knew his mother had been raped. It's not the same to me. Somebody who can't do something to somebody who can go out here and make a choice. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
It's not the same.
Yeah, all right.
To me.
Right.
So, Frederick Douglass, was he not really because he was mixed, but then yes, because his mother was enslaved.
Yeah, he was literally
his mother was enslaved, and his mother was raped. And they were in a position where they couldn't do nothing about that. So do you think that's the same back then what those people went through? where they didn't have a choice.
Right.
You think that the same as people today who's just going out and making the decision themselves to say, this is what I want? Do you think that's the same?
Mm-hmm.
You think it's the same?
You said you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you, do you think that's the same?
As are you talking about like it's like rape? Like you mean it's the same? No, one is rape and one is a choice. I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't. So I. Yeah. Exactly. That's why I try not to. That's why I try not to ever compare what people enslaved went through to people today, because it's two completely different situations.
Yeah, and
so I'm gonna go ahead and let you go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Say what you got to say.
I was gonna say I'm gonna go ahead and let you wrap up, and before I let you wrap up, YC44, I get a check from Africa before you get one from this country. How about that? How about that? I'll get one just as quick from Africa as you'll get from this country. So, man, I'm gonna get off here and I'm gonna wrap up your show. I'm gonna let you wrap up your show, man. I appreciate you for letting me call back in. You know you're my brother, and I love you, man, all the time. Peace and one love, my man.
All right, I appreciate it. Thanks for the call, my brother. All right, yeah. Well, it's kind of interesting, and always kind of the views kind of go up always when I'm about to wrap up, but I still want to hear people's opinion. I guess you can make it quick, I guess. But to answer your question, with Frederick Douglass get eligible for a check. Well, yeah, because mulattoes were also considered slaves, but that doesn't mean that they're black. So, not to answer it like this, but that's kind of two different arguments. Mulattoes were also slaves, and especially if they had a black mother. So just because just because somebody was a mulatto doesn't make them black, and it doesn't mean they aren't eligible for a check, because it doesn't mean mulatto people wasn't in slavery, because they were the same rules and the same laws against black people was against mulattoes. And the sister Moki talked about it earlier, how especially mulatto women, but black women, all the especially the most beautiful women, whether they be mulatto or I guess just for the term of conversation, fully black, they were the ones who were raped the most, and it didn't matter. And even if they were their daughters, I talked about I forget her name, but it was one instance of a slave couple, and she was the daughter of the slave owner, and he was raping her, but she was quote unquote married to a black man, and they escaped the freedom and she posed as a white man because she was light enough to pass, and they took the train and went all the way to freedom on the train, and she posed as a white man. So the mulattoes felt the same thing as we did. I guess just to answer your question. And but this conversation, you can ask the question, how does the mulatto today fit in as far as reparations? Are they eligible? Should they have reparations? And Abe, you can call in, or anybody can call in. But if nobody else got anything to say, I'm gonna wrap it up because it's kind of getting kind of late where I'm at. Let's see what y'all say. All right, but this whole thing is designed for us to cause all of this is designed to cause confusion. And this whole conversation, I don't want anybody to think I'm blaming mulattoes for that situation, or I'm saying they're the problem or whatever. But this is a conversation that we need to have. Should we consider mulattoes, or half anything, half Asian, half whatever, should we consider them black people, and should we go by the one drop rule? So this is a conversation that we needed to have. I wanted to try to get everybody's opinion, and I think everybody who called in, and everybody in the chat room, and I appreciate all of y'all. And make sure you subscribe to this channel because we're gonna start having conversations like this on this channel. And make sure you subscribe to my other channel, the Forecast Radio 24, and the link is in the description. And I just put up a new video. So you want to go there, and it looks like hopefully YouTube is gonna keep it up. Brother Guy, what's going on, my brother? I was about to wrap it up, but if you want to call in, or if anybody else want to call in, I'll give it like a few more minutes. I guess I'll take a few, just maybe you want to make it quick. I just hate a lot of people tune in late or whatever.
Call from
Tony Guy.
Hello.
Yeah, this is Wild C44 calling back.
Yeah, what's going on, bro?
Yeah, I'm just here to say it ain't that we ain't all black. What I'm trying to convey to the guy that just got off the phone is, if you're in a car accident and we're all black in the car, you don't get to come from off the street and jump in the car and say, "Oh, you owe me money too, because I was in the car when you got in the accident when you wasn't." You see the point?
Mm-hmm.
If you were enslaved too, just like we were, and you're from Africa, then you need to get a check from Africa. That's their fight. Our fight is right here with our government. And that's what I was trying to convey to him.
Right.
I'm not mad at him because, he over here, he's doing whatever he's doing, but I'm just saying this goes back for 400 plus years. And then people come over here in the 80s, and say, "Hey, look, I'm black too," like they were in those fields and all this stuff. And if you were somewhere else and was enslaved, that's where you should get your check from. That's all I'm saying. That's why we have the stuff going on that we have going on now. Because if you look at anybody that basically comes from Africa, they don't like the blacks over here. And I really don't care. All I know is what's going on here. So this ain't about, who's black or whatever and what country you come from. It's just, if you were black here and was enslaved, then this government should be paying you. That's what this is about. And I get everybody ain't black and this, that, and other. That's fine. But if you want to get paid, you need to invest here, not over there. That's why we came up with ADOS.
Right. Right. I appreciate that.
Forum. All right. Go to Tone Talk. He explain all this stuff to you. He's right on the internet on YouTube.
Right. Yeah, I'm definitely familiar with all that. All right. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate the call.
Later.
All right. Yeah, this is definitely an interesting topic. I see from both sides. Sis, if you want to call in real quick before I get up out of here, because I definitely need to get up out of here right now. I've been saying that for a while, but I don't really like to leave y'all because it's interesting conversations, and a lot of people tend to come on after when I'm about to hang it up. So, all right.
from
Hello.
What's up, brother Forecast? How you doing, brother?
What's going on, brother guy? What's going on with you, man?
Chilling, man, chilling. Yeah, I want to drop some signs on this one drop rule garbage. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to say, African people did not create no one drop rule. You know what I'm saying? That came from the enemy, and I just think it's kind of sad that black people to this day still hold these slave laws as part of their culture. You know what I mean? Like, if we supposed to see, here's my problem is that some of us, we talk all this pro-black stuff, you know what I'm saying, and we go up against the enemy. So why are we still holding on these little slave laws, thinking we created those laws? Because that law didn't benefit us as a people. You know what I'm saying? And, they created this, the Europeans created this mulatto situation, right? And then they want to say, well, instead of they using the word mulatto and say, okay, you're different from whites and blacks, they say, well, you're black. And let's be realistic. The white man was the first deadbeat dad, right? They was the first deadbeat dad. They raped the black woman, and then they'll leave her and to say, well, that child is black. I don't care nothing about that child because that child is not my people. It's not pure like my people. You know what I mean? So they'll just leave the child on us. You know what I mean? So they just dump the child on us like we supposed to deal with it. You know what I mean? So, that was just a rule that came by them. And so I don't think we should be accepting that. I personally don't think that we should include mulattoes in our business because that's white people's products. You know what I'm saying? I thought, that's white people's business. Like you're mulatto, I think you just stay with white folks. That's just me. Because we didn't create the whole mulatto. You know what I'm saying? If you're looking back in our history, we keep it in our race. We love our people and we keep it in a race. We don't into that mixing and all that stuff. But that's white people's doing. So that one drop rule comes for them, and I think we should just keep it. Say that's a European thing. You know what I'm saying? Mulattoes, you go to the Europeans. They made you. They made that up. So you go with them. That's just me. I believe what Marcus Garvey said. We should keep our race pure as possible. Keep it within our race. We're going to make babies. We're going to get married, make babies, keeping it within the race. You know what I mean? So we should not continue that crap. And then we're going to say, well, if we create a child from a white person or that child is black. I don't think so. Because every mulatto that I've seen, they never represent the African side. They don't even say the word African. If a black man say, oh, well, my mom's or my dad's Puerto Rican, they're going to represent Puerto Rico. They're going to represent that other race, the lighter race, more than they represent the darker race. So we see that all the time. So I don't represent no Adolfs. I don't represent Adolfs because Adolfs came from the enemy. And we're not a descendant of no slaves because our people they didn't come over here. They didn't come over to any country, any Americas, whether it's United States, in North America, whether it's South America, because they're Americans over there too, whether it's Central America. We didn't come to these Americans by choice. And then we just said, well, we're gonna go to the Americas and become slaves. No. We are descendants of African people that was enslaved. But we are not descendants of no slaves. That's bullshit. That's some white man talk, and we need to stop saying that. Our ancestors was enslaved, and we need to say African people that were enslaved, that were forced into slavery. But they was at the end of the day, we are descendants of African people. We are Africans. So I don't see. So any black person going to say they're not African people. To me, they're traitors. I don't care what nobody say, because I want to get connected to my people in Africa. I want to learn or relearn my culture, and that's what we're doing. We still trying to find our culture. We're trying to find our way. We're trying to get in our natural state. I don't see what's the problem with that. Every other race don't have a problem with it. A Chinese man, he can act like America all day, but he'll let you know at the end of the day he's still Chinese. So we need to stop that. I personally don't follow the one drop rule. I think that came from the enemy. We need to stop including that as part of our culture. That's my thoughts on it. All right. So thanks for taking my call, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, bro. You can call anytime, my dude.
All right, man.
All right, bro.
All right, man. Later.
All right. All right. Yeah, this is definitely a interesting conversation. I guess I probably should have did it earlier, but we've been here for a while, and it's getting kind of late where I am. So we're gonna wrap it up. But yeah, it's interesting here having this conversation. You know, and it's interesting seeing both sides, and I can see both sides of the argument, and it's definitely a slippery slope. And as far as mulatto biracial discussion goes, there are some biracials that are more down for the cause than anybody. But then there are some biracials who side with their white side, and there could be some that cause confusion, and there could be some that bring unity. So it's a tricky topic, and I guess we're gonna have to revisit it another time. But I want to thank everybody for coming through. I appreciate everybody's opinion. I love talking to y'all. And much love to everybody in the chat. And you want to subscribe to my other channel, the Forecast Radio 24. That's where all the regular forecast videos you used to will be going up. I just put a video up just now, so you can go there and check it out. Hopefully YouTube won't be bothering it. It's been up for a while, so hopefully it's good. And subscribe to this channel because we're gonna have more conversations like this and other conversations. But I appreciate everybody for coming through, and there's much love. I'll be back real soon with another conversation because I want to talk to the people. But as always, man, we have got to start standing for something, or we're gonna keep falling for anything.